Hello and welcome to my world of crochet. My name is Tina and today I'm here with you for another yarn talk video. And as always, we cannot really talk yarn without me having my faithful mug of tea here. And today it's a black tea infused with some of forest fruit. So a classic black forest fruit tea. Fruity blend, a bit sweet. It's good weather today, sun is shining. And I've been busy, literally been busy. I've finished 4 projects, but of course it's also been 2 weeks since the last yarn talk video. And one of the projects I finished is this absolutely gorgeous summer shopper bag in these darker colors to lighter colors. So we have a sand to the beige, etc. It is the We Love Yarn recycled, 100% recycled cotton yarns. Got them on a good deal. The fun thing is about this is that there is actually a color difference in 2 skeins because there were different lot numbers as some of the skeins were from different orders. And you will see it if you look really closely, but it is difficult to see. So, and I was lucky. So the bottom 6 stripes here, so 1 stripe, 2 stripes and 3 stripes are the same skein, and they are slightly darker than what's on top, but I'm not sure if I can actually physically get that to show on the video. In any case, I'm pretty happy. I'm going to just shortly give a little stance because then you can probably see the bag in its full display. And I have put my other finished projects actually in the bag just for keeping it nice and simple for me. But yeah, so it's a 1-strap bag. And I think it's nice. I've made them in single colors before. It was my chair. I've made them in single colors before. And I thought it was time to try out, maybe to see if it's possible to do color schemes, color combinations and so on. And I think this turned out really nice. I'm actually quite happy with it. I'm just going to take out, and I've actually lied, I've had 5 finished projects since our last yarn talk video. So I've been a busy lady. Some of the projects were almost finished and some of them were really quick makes. That's valid to say. But yeah, so without any filling, this is what we are looking at. Lovely bottom. We have half double crochets and crossed double crochets and single crochets and some slip stitches all the way around to kind of finish it off. I think it's a nice bag. It's a nice size. And I have a few of them already. And it's bags that I'm either going to be giving away or selling with the purpose of a little bit of a profit. So that's the general goal of this bag. And I do have more yarns laying. I could easily make more bags, but I also kind of want to, because I've been into bag making lately. So I've been considering designing one. We talked about that a few times. I just need to actually physically sit down and do it. Yeah. Now. The next project I finished was a beanie, and it is this gorgeous beanie where I used some of the scrap yarns. I do believe I showed off those in the last yarn talk video. So basically what I did was that I made this ribbing kind of feeling, and then I have here half double crochets, and then we are back to the ribbing edging to kind of keep matching that pattern. And as you can see, it increases with the ripping up here. Super gorgeous. The ripping is done in posts, so post front and post back, post front, post double crochets. There is one line here both at the top and the end of single crochets, and this is all half doubles. The pattern, original pattern, would be some with some herringbone stitch. So it is a pattern that you could say that a part of this is a Back Day design pattern, and a part of it is my own twist on it. Different yarn as well, but I think it worked out pretty nicely. It's not the same brand of yarn. Thickness-wise, they work out great. They are both 80% acrylic and 20% wool. And I think it ended up looking pretty nice. Yeah, let me just ruin my hairdo and take on this hat so you can see how it looks. If that should be an interest to you, but here we are. A nice beanie. And it is warm. So here we go. I am pretty happy with the look of this. Yeah, I'm pleased. Definitely pleased. It size-wise feels good. It's not too small. It's not too big. Yeah, it's a good uni size, I think, beanie. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how the end result of this ended up. Then during Christmas and New Year's, I was working quite a bit on finishing my Spearmint Poncho because I had gotten really on a drive. And I did finish it up. And while I had thought 7 out of the 8 skeins I planned for it would be enough, I ended up using almost full 8 skeins for it. So I'm pretty happy I didn't size up once more, even though I've already sized up once compared to back when I bought the yarns. And it should only have taken 7 skeins, but yeah, it took almost 8. So I'm happy I also bought an extra skein in hindsight. So generally, if you're in doubt, always get an extra skein, right? Because you might not get the same dye lots and you might then have difference in colors and, you know, that kind of, you know, unless you're lucky it falls great, just like it did with my bag, it would be really sad for you to have this feeling that it didn't. So, this, my friends, is the Spearmint Poncho. It looks actually a bit more like a skirt looking on it like this. I didn't block it. I probably could, but I don't feel it's necessary. It does have this open split in the back end, an open vent, where I also added, as requested by the pattern, a pair of straps to close it with. The only difference is my straps are maybe a centimeter or 2 longer than what was suggested in the pattern. But I just, you know, followed the gist of it and it ended up pretty nicely. And last time I tried it out, which was about halfway through, I admit that my feeling was it was probably going to be a little bit on the tiny end for me, like a little bit too small for me. But I do want to go try it out again. And to do so, it would basically be the easiest for me to just spend a minute, take off my coat, because it does add more shoulder to it, which I don't think I have room for it in this based on last time I tried it out. So I am going to take off my coat and then we will try on the Spearmint Poncho. So Spearmint Poncho, here we go. You can see on the back side where the round ends and starts. Not sure if I could have done anything to fend for that. At the same time, when you do look, it's not super visible unless you really know it. Because some of it is matching the rest of the pattern. So I guess that is a positive thing. And now the real challenge is actually the fact that I have too much shoulder. That I have way too much shoulder to actually decently wear this. And I probably then already should, I don't know if I should tie this vent on the back side. I probably should, because that would make sense. But I really feel it's kind of snug on my shoulders. And the crazy thing is, size-wise, this is a size above what I normally would wear in shirts. So Of course, a part of this is because I did not, shame on me, I did not do a swatch test. I did not. I should have. We are getting to something. Let's see if I can make a little show for it. This is basically how we are looking. And it does it does a little funny up here. And I simply do believe it's because of it's a little bit like, I either need to lose a little weight, which I would love to do, or I might have to accept this is just a little bit too tight. It fits, but just barely, right? I do like it. I enjoyed working with the yarn, which is the Drops Muscat yarn. Spearmint Poncho. Link down below to the pattern. Yeah, what am I gonna do with this piece? I don't know yet. Do I want to keep it and then hope I might lose some weight, or do I want to opt in to sell it instead? Because it's just a little too snug for me, unfortunately. That is something I need to think about. No decision made on that account yet. Except for that, the pattern was a reasonably quick worked up, to be honest, for roughly 800 meters of yarn, a bit less, maybe 780 maybe is what I used in total. I think it worked up pretty okay, pretty quick. It was with a 4.5mm crochet hook. But as said, I don't know. I don't know what will happen to this. But I think it's too snug for me to wear right now, unless I decrease a bit. But at the same time, no, my bone is right here, right? Like, I feel my bone, it's not much room for it. So I don't know. I'm not sad because I'm happy I finished an item, but I need to think about what to do with it. So it's gonna be putting on my think list. That would be valid. Think and consider what will happen to this. Then the last two items that I finished, well, one actually very much matches this shirt, were 2 headbands that helped me finish up 2 skeins of Anke Poncho yarns, and more about those finished skeins, because here in 2025 my goal is to decrease my yarn stash, and I have a lovely video about that. I will try to link to that, maybe here up, there will be a link, but in any case at the very end of this video I will also have a link to the prologue of my goal for decreasing my yarn stash here in 2025. And if you want to follow that progress, I do recommend you to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, because then you do not miss when I do post videos about this. But yeah, so decreasing my absolutely gone out of hand yarn stash is a goal, and to help that goal along, it's about using some skeins and not adding too many new skeins to my stash. I don't have a yarn purchase ban, but I do have to kind of use more than I buy, is the rule, because overall the goal is to decrease. So I made 2 headbands. One of them is this one, and a set that really much matches this shirt. And then I made a light blue one, same yarns, same pattern, medium sized. I can fit them, and I am probably going to put those on the Facebook Marketplace or something like that to see if there is a desire for them. When I was working on these headbands, which I finished up yesterday, we were actually at my in-laws, and my mom-in-law, she was like, oh, I would actually like one, but she didn't like the color, so she wanted one that was more blue. And therefore, I am very likely going to make one in the blue yarn I have made this in, because she seems to like this kind of blue. I just want to confirm with her next time I see her before I do it. And I will need her head size, because it is a different yarn, so we'll have to do some recalculations as to how many stars would be needed to get the right size for her. But the blue the solid blue here is probably going to be the one that she wants them done in. So that is a goal. So hey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 projects finished. It's been a busy Christmas, one could say, and I hope you enjoyed your Christmas as well. And of course, a Happy New Year, because we are just in the very beginning of this new year. And yeah, we should start talking about the current ongoing projects that I have. The first project of my current ongoing whips, which we usually work on in chronological order, as in saying, I talk about them as how I started working on them, in that following order, except for finished projects, they go first in this video. And the first project here is the Mosaic blanket of Fleur. Fleur is designed by Anke Wintermans. She's a Dutch designer. Link to the pattern down below. It is a Ravelry pattern. I am still at around 70 out of 70 possible. I thought I would actually do a lot this Christmas vacation on this blanket, but I ended up doing all sorts of other projects. So it's just been laying still, not intentionally, but I guess I was so close finishing other projects that I kind of were in the mood to get those finished. And therefore, and there was all things going on and being social and doing stuff, right? And it's not a project that I work on when being with the family, because this is a project where I really need to have full focus on it when I do work on it. Here we have it, still at around 70, and I did actually around 70 and some, because the pink here, or it is the Fuchsia Purple actually, I've done one side of the 4 sides, and I need to do 3 more sides before I can say that round 71 has been complete. So it is the beginning of round 71, but that was also how far we were 2 weeks ago. So it's just been laying dormant, waiting on me to working on it. As you can see here, I need to do the color as well. What I did do, so I did do something sort of related to this blanket, is that I did cake up some of this, because I prepared for the future color changes. So this is, I need to eventually get a new cream white on it. I cake that up, but I also have to be ready for the next, this is the next cream cake. But then also I have the plum ready, which will be after the Fuchsia Purple. So this is like the next color change that comes in. That's what I did do, because I was optimistic that I was gonna work a lot on this and I was gonna reach to do that and that and that. And while I wasn't, I thought I need to make this ready, because in the case I do, then I don't need to cake them up, and I can just like keep the momentum going. I kicked them up, and that's kind of like everything I did, I admit. And it's fine, because I still finished 5 objects and I made good progress, right? Like, so I'm still pretty pleased with how that looks. Of course, you always want to do more, but things just takes time, and that's just how it is. So I am ready to progress on this. Hopefully, I will have some time here the coming days to have more progress done soon. So that was for Fleur. Then we have to talk about a project I haven't really talked much about since a very long time. My tea is still pretty warm, but the project we are to talk about is my Firefly Sweater. Yes, finally, my Firefly Sweater. I've been postponing it for probably like 2 months now, because I needed to block it, because I need to prepare for it to be sewn together. And I just pulled it out of the blocking today. Let's see if I can actually even hold it up as it's supposed to be. And here we have It's basically right now a vest once sewn together, right? We have a back piece panel on the back and we have a front piece panel on the front. And what I am going to do is I am going to sew the shoulders together. The two shoulders will be sewn together. And then I will have to sew the sides together as well. But I am first gonna make sure the shoulders are sewn together, and then I'm gonna see how far down I want to place the arms or the armpits. And then I can then from that calculate how and what not I'm going to do with the actual arms. So that, my friends, is the current status of this. So for next yarn talk video, I have definitely sewn the shoulders together, and I hopefully have made some progress on calculating some arm stuff, because this is a project that's been a long time in the making as well. I believe I started on it in either February or March last year, so in 2024. And it would be nice if it finished before the year has passed. There was a whole period during last summer where I only worked on this during my Wednesday morning live videos, which allowed me to add maybe 2 or 3 rows at best. So it wasn't the quickest make, but I was kind of comfortable with that. Now I'm looking at it again and I'm like, it's time to get this finished. It's been a bit that's been like just stacked up, waiting for me to get going. So based on this, I currently basically I don't have that many ongoing WIPs because I finished up some project, which is really nice. I hold 2 strands of yarns together for the Firefly Sweater, and I'm following a hobby pattern. It's a free pattern on Hobby. Not using those yarns, but I'm using something similar in the sense of I'm roughly following the pattern, the concepts of the pattern. But in the end, what I do is that I do add my own little touch and finish to it, because I've made it longer. It's more like a cropped oversized sweater, and I like my sweaters to be a bit longer. I'm still curious if the sizing of this, how that will be once I've sewn sides together and so on. The yarns I'm using is a Dutch yarn brand which is named Anemone Yarns, and I'm using their Soft Sensation brand or line, and it's a very gorgeous yarn actually. It's 76% acrylic and 24% polyester. It's 25 gram balls, so they're really light, to 200 meters. So these two together is 1.8 ounces. So they're like only like 0.9 ounces each, but almost 220 yards. So it's really fine. It's almost like a mohair feel, but it is 100% synthetic. So you don't have any issues if you have animal allergies or allergies for wool or hairs or furs, because this is kind of allergen friendly, one would say. So that is kind of one of the reasons I chose to work with this. And I have to say, when I'm just touching it like this, it's so very soft, and I'm really pleased with the general feel of this. And I also think these two colors, when worked up together, because that is what it is, right? It turns out pretty nice actually. So I'm pretty pleased with that. So we have to start sewing this together and actually see how I'm gonna work it out with the arm sleeves, with the sleeves. And I do have, I believe, a few more of these skeins donuts upstairs. I have this, and I have 2 that is half used. I kind of sort of prepared a little bit for a sleeve, this is just like a long chain, but I haven't really done much with it. And this is ongoing. And I do believe I still, plus these 2, I might have 2 more of each upstairs. So I should have more than enough to actually finish up the sleeves of this sweater. So that is something pleasing. So yeah, I finally got that VIP out in the open air, so to say, because the girl is ready to start working and finishing up. And yeah, if I can finish it in January, I would be happy. I think that's a nice goal. Then the last project that I'm currently working on, which is also the latest project that I started, is the CeylonTea Shawl by RedTeapotAtelier. She makes a bunch of gorgeous, intricate shawl pattern designs. And yeah, I finished the first repetition of the pattern and I'm about to start the second. And this is basically where we are at. Time to start the second. So, and the second repetition starts around here where we have the front post or something like that. I do believe they're front posts, yeah. We started one here, so that would be about where I'll be starting to repeat, is that I'm on this row that starts here, and I'll have to do that a couple of repetitions to finish this shawl. And as you can see, we are heading into the lighter grays. The cake I'm using is a Linda Hobby soft cake. It looks like this. It is named Ombre, and it is the color 8 Ombre. Ta-ta. Yep, color 8 Ombre. Linda Hobby soft cake. This is originally 250 grams, so 8.8 ounces to 1,000 meters, which is 1,093 yards. They recommend a 2 to 3 millimeter crochet hooks. I am using a 3.25, which is also the same as a D hook. And my choice is because I have a good experience in the past working with a similar hook size for another of her shawls. That was when I made the dye-eating tea shawl in a red color last year. Now we are on to this. And I can imagine, of course, when I'm working on this, it's gonna take a bit for me to use up the cake. And therefore that's the days where the consumption of yarn, so to say, for my Decrease My Yarn project will take a bit more time, but that's okay because, you know, it is a lot of yarn. It is quite some length to go through, but thicker yarn just works up quicker, lengthwise, weight-wise, skein-wise, than thinner yarns. And that's absolutely all right, because as I mentioned in that video, I will do various measurement and comparisons on it. There is one last thing I think we should talk about this week's Yarn Talk video before I will bid my goodbyes, and that is the fact that I want to start working on a new bag. Next, for the fact I want to design a bag, I want to work on a new bag, which is also like a shopper kind of type bag. It is called the Diamond Bag, which is by Drops Design. I saw the pattern. It should be a simple pattern to work out. It is like a fillet stitch, because what you have is a nice solid pattern, but you have these diamond shapes going through in the pattern. They use a white drops yarn for it. I have a yarn that I got on sale a while ago from Scheepjes, and I think it would be great for a bag, which is their Linen Soft, which is basically this yarn. This is a colorway Heron, which is like, it is a beige or off-white color. And what can I tell you about it? It's 1.8 ounce skeins to 135 meters. So that's like 150-ish yards. So in that sense, it's probably like a 2 weight, maybe a 3. Like it feels thinner than a DK weight, but yet it feels slightly thicker than a sport weight. It can be washed at 40 degrees, lay flat to dry, iron at low. They recommend a 3.5 millimeter crochet hook / knitting needles. It is 27% linen, 47% cotton, and 26% acrylic. I have 5 skeins of these, so I hope that's more than enough. And it might be that the bag turns out a little bit thinner than the original one, which I'm fine with, right? It's a bag, so if it's not completely 100% the same, it'll be okay. It's a bag that doesn't need buttons, it doesn't need zippers or whatnot, so I don't need to be worried about something not matching compared to what else I've bought. The only thing I might need to be worried about is if I do have enough yarn to actually finish it. I hope I do. I really hope I do. And yeah, we'll jump into it and try see how far we basically get. yeah, not much more to say about that. That is my newest project that I will be starting on. But as you know, I'm more than busy. And of course, I might be starting on a new headband as well. But that is a quick make once I know the measurements for that. And know for sure that that is the color that my mom-in-law really wants, because then I'll make that for her for free, of course. And that means that I might have that done next week. Then we have the Fleur, we have Firefly, we have Ceylon, and we have this diamond. And I don't know if I get it started yet. It kind of depends on how everything else flows. So I will have 3 or maybe 4 work in progresses, even though I finished up like a bunch. But I'm pretty satisfied with how much I've reached to get done, and it's time to get cracking, because time flies and there are still many things to do. I'm going to wish you a great day. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode of my yarn talk video. Hope to see you back for more, and yeah, take care and happy crafting until I see you again.